Hi, my name is Ben Schaefer, and I'm the Executive Director of the 402 Arts Collective. Welcome to my home. I'm a singer-songwriter, musician, and an artist instructor as well. I want to talk to you just a little bit about something today we are all facing right now. Online learning, virtual education, Skype lessons, Zoom, Google Meetup, FaceTime. These are all things that you are probably hearing right now get tossed around the education community. If you're curious about getting set up for online or virtual learning, then I invite you to keep on watching. If you have done your research, you probably noticed that the 402 Arts Collective is offering virtual music and art lessons as an option for you to consider. Instructors use various programs that are readily available to anyone with an internet connection, a computer, an iPad, or a smartphone. I wanted to create this video today just to provide you with some basic information about this whole thing so you can jump in with total confidence. Why? Well, because all of us in the 402 Arts Collective want you to keep on growing. Now is the time to use the technology we use every day as a means to keep creating, learning, and growing. So like I said, there are many different platforms that are totally free and close to free that you can use for virtual lessons. Some of those platforms include Zoom, Google Meet, FaceTime, GoToMeeting, Skype, and I'm sure there's others that work great as well. For the purposes of this video though, I will be using Zoom. Now, you really don't have to get fancy to get started. Just use what you have laying around the house. You can always improve these things later if you want to, but really, you can keep things very, very simple. So I'm going to start off with number one. What device do you use? Well, first of all, you just need to choose what device you will use that you have at your house. Many of our students use a laptop with a built-in camera and a microphone. This works really well. And most laptops come equipped with this already from the factory. Tablets, smartphones, and laptops are usually the way to go as far as a device. All work great as long as you have a strong internet connection, which, speaking of that, quick tip. If you go to fast.com, F-A-S-T.com, to quickly check your internet speeds, you will want at least 25 megabytes per second for a successful video conference call. So go to fast.com, and that's a great tool to quickly check your internet speed. And another tip, I have learned the hard way that it's always a good idea to connect your device to the power supply while you're doing your video conference. You don't want things to power down in the middle of a lesson. All right, number two. There's an app for that. Get the app. I would recommend getting your platform of choice downloaded on your device. Simple Google search of the desired platform will lead you in the right direction. In this case, simply go to your app store and search for Zoom. There's a desktop version as well for Mac and Windows that works really, really well as well. Number three. So here's what you can expect when you take a music or art lesson from any of our artist instructors here at the 402 Arts Collective. You will receive an email prior to your lesson that has all the information you need. The way Zoom works is simply by clicking on the URL that is included in an email invitation. It looks like something like this. Simply clicking on the link takes you right to the meeting with your instructor. If you get a small gray box that pops up asking you to use the internet audio, simply click yes. This will make sure that you and your instructor can hear each other when you connect. So, number four, this next piece of information is important. Please feel free to play around and try it. This is so important for you and your student to feel comfortable with how things work. So 15 minutes before your lesson begins, I invite you just to click on the link, get set up, get your camera set up, have your lighting set up, have your instrument ready to go. That's perfectly fine. At the time of your meeting, when your lesson begins, up will pop on the screen your artist instructor and the way you go. But joining early and getting everything set up is a great idea. Some things to double check inside your Zoom call or any other platform for that matter. Make sure your audio and video are turned on, or in other words, unmuted. These are usually indicated with a small camera or microphone icon, and in most cases these icons are red. It is an indication that they are muted if they are red. So click on it and make them not red, and I think you will be in business. Set up your display. view or of your preference. I personally like, me and my students, I like to have them right next to each other. And it's what Zoom calls the gallery view. This gives a side-by-side view of me and the student. Number 5, where to put the camera. If you're wondering where to put the camera or how to position yourself, here are some household tips. Try to have your camera facing away from any light sources. It is always best to have the light source behind the camera. So try not to have your camera facing windows, for example. Have the light behind you, have the windows behind you, the light source behind the camera. Don't forget that. Try to have your instrument or art form that you're working with in view of the camera. That's my second tip. Your instructor needs to see your hands and your work to be able to give you instruction and as well just to have a conversation. All right, number 6. Did you know that you can record your Zoom calls? One of the cool features included in Zoom is the function of recording the entire lesson. If you want your instructor to record the lesson and send that to you after the lesson, please indicate that to your instructor. A lot of students love this feature because it enables them to review the material covered over and over again throughout the week during practice. Number 7, finally, coming down to the end, make sure you have what you need before the lesson begins. A great thing to remember to do is get all the materials you need for your lesson in front of you and at arm's reach before the lesson begins. Think about things like notebooks, pencils, papers, metronomes. These are all good things to remember. So again, listener, nobody expects anyone to be perfect, especially us here at the 402. Once you get connected with your artist instructor, you will find that it is actually a ton of fun. The fact is that things happen, right, in life. Setbacks come and go, but we problem solve together and get it figured out together. That's what we'll do. The most important thing to do is just go for it. Go for it and seize the opportunity to learn. We encourage you today. There is something so meaningful and life-giving to be able to connect with an artist instructor that knows your name every week, calls the greatness out of you every week, and challenges you to grow every week during their lesson. If you're interested in getting started with music or visual art lessons, virtually or in person, then I just invite you to go to 402artscollective.org and register for that art form of your choice. Now be blessed, blessings to you, and keep on growing and being creative.